Hello everyone, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Wildflower T, and today I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about this McCray story that is literally taking over the internet like wildfire. For those of you who are not up to speed with this story, I am going to leave some videos linked down below that will hopefully help you get brought up to speed. But I will say this is a very complex story. There is more and more information coming out on a daily basis that leaves so many of us with even more questions than the day before. If you do decide to fall down this rabbit hole, I do want to put out some trigger warnings for you guys. There is a lot of talks of domestic violence, substance abuse, extreme manipulation, and so much more. So if those types of serious topics bother you, you may want to skip this video. This story is very detailed, and there is absolutely no way I could fill you in on everything in one video, but for a very quick recap, Marvan McCray is a former Marine and a beloved father, husband, brother, and son. Everyone who has had the pleasure of knowing him says that he is a pure joy and blessing to know. He is one of those types of people who can enter a room and literally just light it up and would give the shirt right off of his back to help a stranger in need. Marvan has always been known to be a very calm, cool, collective person, someone who doesn't really talk about his own struggles in life and would much rather deal with those things internally. His wife, on the other hand, is a whole nother story, okay? Dre McCray is a well-known beauty influencer over on the Facebook platform with over 600,000 followers. Aside from her makeup page, she also sells paparazzi $5 jewelry, and she has made a pretty decent living online. She is literally day and night to her husband, very high-strung, high energy, and she has showcased some very erratic behaviors online as well. You can tell she's one of those types of people that likes to be in control, and when she isn't in control, that's a problem. Just to give you guys a couple of examples of what I mean here, a little over a year ago, Dre put her whole family on this vegan alkaline diet, and on top of this extreme diet, she also started to use these herbal medicines on her family as well. I'm going to pop a couple of those up on the screen for you so that you can see for yourself. One of the most well-known herbal medications that she and her whole family was taking was K. This particular herbal medicine is mostly used to deter chronic pain because it does have opioid properties within it, and a lot of people also use it as a coffee substitute because it does have stimulant-like effects as well. And here is the thing about it. If her and her husband wanted to take this herbal medicine and it helped them in so many ways, then that is their business. But a huge red flag to me was the fact that the children were also intaking this stuff, because this is not one of those types of herbal medicines that I personally believe children should be taking. And there is information out there on this particular herb that tells you that it is not for minors. But Dre bragged all over her social media platforms about the fact that her family was on this extreme diet and taking all of these herbal medicines. And all of this, in my opinion, is very erratic behavior. But where things get really crazy is several months ago, her husband and one of her children started to have seizures. And according to Dre, these were not mild seizures. Marvan alone was having sometimes 2 to 3 seizures a day, and oftentimes they would last for hours on end. As a mother myself, I do think it's normal behavior that if your child or your husband is going through some type of health scare like that, your automatic response is to make sure that they're getting the best care possible, seeing the best doctors. You're not going to prolong that, and you're not going to try to play God. But Dre, on the other hand, thought that she knew what was best for her family. And instead of seeking professional medical care for her family, she became Dr. Dre. There are literally live streams out there of her husband, Marvan, having seizures for 3-4 hours on end. And Dre is sitting here live streaming this happening, trying to fill him full of all of these herbal medicines, never contacting contacting emergency care and acting as if it was just all normal. On top of that, she also made posts on her Facebook page bragging about one of her minor children losing an extensive amount of weight, talking about how proud she was of her and how she's so much happier that she's lost this weight. In my personal opinion, as a mother, once again, all of this is very erratic and dangerous behavior. We are talking about a young girl who probably already has plenty of insecurities. If you are a woman, then you know what it feels like to be a young lady. You're already so hard on yourself and you already worry about the smallest little things. So to have someone constantly telling you about your weight and drilling it in your head how you need to lose weight at such a young age, in my personal opinion, that is ABUSE. I don't think it's cool for parents to put their expectations on their children. I'm a firm believer in allowing my children to have the freedom to think on their own creativity, to pave their own path for their future. And my job is to only help guide them in the direction they want to go. Honestly, I'm just shocked that there wasn't more people that was watching these live streams reporting it to the authorities. As if none of this is crazy enough, back at the end of May of this year, Marvan allegedly attempted suicide. Due to this incident, Marvan was left in a VA hospital fighting for his life and unresponsive. And for the next couple of weeks, Dre would hop on live streams smiling, happy as can be, acting as if life was perfectly fine. Never mentioning that her husband was fighting for his life, never mentioning that anything was really going on with her family. She didn't even reach out to Marvan's side of the family to let them know what was going on with him. Then one day, out of the blue, she decided to drop this bomb on the public, letting everyone know that her husband had received a extreme brain injury. But when she shared this information with the public, she refused to answer any questions that anyone had.
And that's all I'm gonna share regarding that. Why he's in a coma is irrelevant. I mean, he does have a brain injury, I'll say that, but that's also as far as what I'm gonna say regarding that, because what I don't need is negative energy in my way. What I don't need is for someone to even give me sad energy. I don't want pity. I don't want people's heart to hurt for me. Not that I don't care, but I mean, it's to the point where they don't want me to prolong the inevitable. So you can only imagine the severity of his injury for them to give me that type of feedback, that type of news, to tell me whatever else. I don't care.
It wasn't until the Yuma police report came out that the public got more insight on what allegedly happened. And sadly, this is how Marvan's family found out that their son and brother was in the hospital. This left everyone with so many questions and concerns, especially Marvan's family, but more than anything, they just wanted to be able to see him. But for some odd reason, Dre did not want anyone to see Marvan, and she made that her mission. She said on a live stream that she was trying to quote unquote protect him, but her actions were saying something else altogether. She was also giving the doctors a hard time about the care that they were giving him. And due to these disagreements with the doctors, she ended up moving him from the VA hospital to yet another facility. Like I said before, guys, this is a very complex story, and it gets even more complex as the days go by. There is so much information on this story that I have not shared in this video. So once again, if you are just now tuning into this story, I highly recommend you check out the videos I have linked below. And trust me when I say that this story is just absolutely heartbreaking and full of so much insanity. Now, with social media catching wind of this story, it has only gotten worse. There has been several content creators getting invested into this story. Two of those creators being Without a Crystal Ball, aka katiejoy, and mollygolightly, aka Marissa. Let's just say that both of these creators definitely have a long track record. They're both known to tackle very controversial stories and cases, but even more than that, they have a long history of getting too invested in the cases and stories that they cover. With katiejoy, she has showcased some very bad behaviors online. I myself have done several videos on the things that katiejoy has done, but she calls herself an investigative journalist, and she really enjoys digging into things like cults and fundamentalists. She talks about the Duggars a great deal over on her channel, and that is what she's mostly known for. The issue with her content is a lot of times the information she brings forward is incorrect, and at this point in her YouTube career, she is basically a pro when it comes to conspiracies and speculation and trying to sell them as facts. Because of this, it has landed her in several defamation lawsuits. There is also a whole community of people out there that are dedicated on calling her out for her bad behavior and holding her accountable for the things that she does online. Let's just say that's a whole nother rabbit hole for another day. As for mollygolightly, she is a part of the true crime community. Although I'm not as familiar with Molly, I will say there are a few instances that I do know of that were very public, and we're talking like made national television public, okay, of mollygolightly going out and becoming one with the cases that she covers. Some examples of this is the Summer Wells case. Molly did go out to protest with a group of other people in front of Dawn and Candace's home. She also showed up at Dawn's place of business, and allegedly because of her and this group of people's protesting, Dawn Wells ended up getting fired from said job. Then you have the Gabby Petito case where Molly showed up at the laundry's home with a basket full of dirty laundry, and this is the one that she made national television on. She was all over the news for yelling at the laundries because Roberta Laundry looked out the window whenever she was placing this basket of goodies on their front door. And again, you guys, this is only scratching the surface with both of these creators. There are plenty of videos out there that if you are interested in learning more about them, you can go and check them out. But the reason I bring any of this up is because when I seen Without a Crystal Ball and mollygolightly collaborating together on this story, I automatically knew that it was a recipe for disaster. I want to make it clear that this is not a hate video on either one of these creators. I just want to give you guys a timeline and the facts of what has happened because of these creators' involvement in the story. There is already enough drama and hate circulated around all of this, so please do not go send hate to anyone mentioned in today's video. That literally does no good whatsoever when it comes to the story, and it is definitely not bringing any type of justice for Vaughn or those babies, which let me just say should be the main focus when it comes to this story. Everything I'm about to say is my opinion and my opinion only. Please be sure to do your own research and gather your own opinion. Y'all, I swear I'm not kidding. Within 24 hours of these two creators working together, all hell broke loose. From where I stand, it became a battle of whose story is this? Without a Crystal Ball was trying to state that Marvan's family did not want anyone else covering this story. They only felt comfortable with information being shared on her channel. And of course, Molly was like, no, that's never been said to me. They did not say that. And she rebutted against that on her own channel.
This family, you must have done or said something to them that made them feel a certain way. Miss Letitia tonight said that if it wasn't for you and Justin, I would not have been able to see my baby. So if you take that as we just want all the credit, I think that you're mistaken. Credit for what? What credit are we getting? All we got was a thank you. So, Katie, take your cease and desist. Don't even bother because it will be torn up. And don't ever try and intimidate me with, you don't want to mess with me. Well, guess what, sweetheart? I'm very confrontational. And I'm not confrontational behind a computer.
I do want to point out that this is not the first time Without a Crystal Ball has gotten upset over other people covering stories that she covers. Just a couple of months ago, I did a whole video about her coming after another creator for covering the Duggars. Every couple of months she does this. It is nothing new. She's done it for literally the whole time she's been on the internet. And in my personal opinion, she just takes it all way too serious. All of the information that is being discussed is public information, and all creators are allowed to talk about this story and any other story if they would like. Nobody owns anything. And furthermore, when it comes to Marvan's family, they could talk to whoever they want, and of course they would want to talk to as many people as possible to raise awareness on their son's story. When it comes to the media, they know that the more eyes and attention the story gets, the better opportunity they have to actually get justice for their son and those sweet babies. But Without a Crystal Ball cannot seem to get that through her head. And when she feels threatened by another creator, she will go to any ends to try to take them down. Mollygolightly has been no exception to this. Over on Without a Crystal Ball's Facebook page, she has been dropping information on Mollygolightly for the last 2 weeks, trying to put her in this really negative light, trying to say that she's doing all of this for money and clicks and views. And honestly, it's just been extremely disgusting because none of this helps the family in any way. And I will say there are things that Molly does as well that I don't necessarily agree with. She has brought a lot of this drama between her and Without a Crystal Ball to her channel when discussing this case, and I just don't think it's a good mixture, but that again is just my opinion. There's also been a lot of speculation around this story, and I think that that sucks as well because this story on its own without any speculation is already devastating and bad enough. I think as a whole there is already so many questions that we are waiting on answers for that adding in any kind of speculation and conspiracies only confuses the story even more. But the one thing I do have to give Molly in this situation is she has went above and beyond to help Marvan's family, and they need that desperately right now. They have had to go through so many hoops to try to see their son and their brother, and it's horrible. Molly has been there every step of the way to help them to figure out what they need to do. Marvan's mom, bless her heart, did not even know where to start when it came to getting a lawyer so that she could see her child. And because of Molly and her audience, they were able to not only get her the lawyer she needed, but get her in that hospital room with her son. At this point, we are in a place where the main focus is those children's safety because as far as we all know, they are still in the care of Dre, which is a huge concern, and making sure that Vaughn is getting the care that he needs and deserves as well. While there may be a few little things that Molly's done that I have not agreed with, she has been incredibly supportive when it comes to this family. And for some reason, katiejoy cannot stand the fact that she's helping them. Just this week alone, she has made several posts over on Facebook trying to put Molly and Marvan's family in the worst light imaginable. I'm not going to read these out loud because they're absolutely disgusting accusations, but if you guys want to read them for yourself, you can pause to read, take a screenshot. It's just crazy to me because katiejoy has switched up so many times throughout the length of this story, and she can make all the excuses in the world on as to why, but the timeline speaks for itself. First, she was in support of Marvan's mother, and then when Marvan's mom stopped giving her information, then she was in support of his father, and then when the father no longer wanted to talk to her, she went on to start supporting Dre's ex-husband and father to her 2 girls prior to Marvan. And when he essentially told katiejoy that he did not want to publicly share his story or be in the public eye, now she's sitting here literally just throwing everybody in the flames, it seems. And it's all because she is jealous that no one is giving her information. She does not care about this family. She does not care about this story, those babies, or Marvan, who is sitting in a coma as we speak. The only thing katiejoy has ever cared about is breaking a story. The fact that she continues to get away with this type of behavior is gross. She desperately wants to blame Molly for the reason why the family has stopped really talking to her, but it is clear from her own content and the things that she is putting on her own Facebook post on why the family does not want to talk to her anymore. Plumb down to asking Marvan's mother for a refund on the donation that she had sent her. And as if that's not bad enough, she made this long post on Facebook on why she asked for the donation back. This post is riddled with conspiracies and accusations against Von's mother. And of course, Katie Joy has no proof on the claims that she is putting out there against any of these people. She admits that the reason she's doing this is because they won't answer her questions. They are not entitled to answer anything that she has to ask. This family is going through so much right now, and they should not have to be going through this as well. If you have questions and concerns, Molly and other creators have went above and beyond to try to get those questions answered. But at the end of the day, no one is obligated to donate. You don't have to. Katie Joy's trying to say, oh, Letitia and Molly's telling everybody can't ask questions, you have to donate. But that is not true whatsoever. No one's obligated to donate. Nobody's obligated to even watch this at all. But I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, because I've been following this for several weeks now, that Marvan's family has been nothing but grateful for every donation they've received. And actually, I've personally heard Letitia, Marvan's mother, say to Molly, oh, honey, you don't have to send these. You've already done enough. You don't have to do more. But if Molly wants to help her, then that is Molly's prerogative. I know that this video is getting long and very ranty. I apologize for that, but I've bit my tongue on this situation for way too long. Who the hell does Katie Joy or anyone else think that they are to feel entitled enough to tell other people what they can and cannot do with their own money? I'm getting really sick and tired of Katie Joy continuously getting away with this type of behavior. For months, I have not spoke on this woman and the nasty things that she's out here doing, because to be quite honest, I don't see it doing any good whatsoever. All it ever does is bring attention to her. And if people want to support that kind of behavior, then by all means, do whatever you want to do. But the same goes for Molly and anyone else who is following this story. If they want to support Marvan's family and they want to help them, that's their prerogative too. So that's all I've got to say in this one, you guys. Again, I'm sorry that it got so long. I hope that this does help any of you out there who may have been a bit confused on the timeline of all of this. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to ask them in the comments down below. Also, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this situation. I will always answer to the best of my ability. Thank you all so very much for watching this video and listening to my TED Talk. I appreciate every single one of you to the moon and stars, and until my next one, mwah. Bye guys.